And I'm going to come to Loftus Road. I know you and I have done Loftus Road before, but reading it here, it's just come back to life again. I didn't realise you didn't go back there for, what, 20 years or something ridiculous?
I didn't go back until 2005.
Okay,
I'd never gone back there, and I didn't think I didn't want to go back, to be honest, and because I know the club hadn't done very well, and things were down and they were depressed. But they were delighted when I went back. I went back with Ed Robinson from Sky, and we went in and done a wee piece for one of the shows, and I walked through the door and I didn't recognise it, and I looked and then I walked in and I saw the blue haze, and I went, now it's coming back to me. And then they brought me down, because I remember at the time they said to me, the guy who was the show, do you want to have the what they said to me, I came in and they said to me when I came in that night, we've given you the home dressing room. And I goes, thank you very much. And so Pedrosa was in the away dressing room, and going in there, and of course what I used to do, Steve, and some fighters do it differently. I went in when the fights had already. I always arrived at the venue when the fights had started, so that I wasn't. There wouldn't be anybody about, and I get straight into my dressing room, sort of get ready, start bandaging my hands and taping my hands, and you'd start preparing for it. But then, of course, it was a world title fight, so Santiago Del Rio, who was Pedrosa's manager, wanted to see me bandage my hand, and my brother Dermot went in and sat and watched Pedrosa, and he said he was dead cool, and he kept looking up and smiling and winking at him, and he said he looked magnificent, he was very muscular, and he was in great shape and very calm and composed. And of course I had this other guy, and he watched me bandage, and you know what it's like, and there's been a lot of controversy recently, Nassim Richardson with Antonio Margarita's bandage. So what they'll do is they'll normally make a little pad out of the surgical bandage that you fold over across your knuckle, a little bit of gauze to actually make a pad, because that's the first point of impact, that's where all the trauma goes through. So you pad that up as much as you can, you use as much of the bandage as you can over the knuckle area of the bandage. So we done all that. And he was clever. He let us bandage it all up. Then, and he kept nodding his head it was okay. And then we would put the tape on, and then he would pull the tape through the fingers to hold it. And then he went, no, too much. And of course he'd sat there watching me bandage my hand. He spent 5 minutes,
go back and do it.
Then he said, do it again. Or I call in the officials, and the officials were standing there anyway. He made me do it so many times I lost my temper and I swore at him.
But that's what happens when you've was it 19 defences and you've been a champion for 7 years. Because in all fairness, they pulled a great stunt at the weigh-in, hadn't they? When Pedrosa had got on the scales, all these people around him, the scales are still up, going up and down, and then that's it. He's fine. They got him off, and then they made him drink the fake cup of water.
Exactly. They had a little polyurethane cup, not a clear one where they would see the liquid. They had this polyurethane cup, and it was a clever move. Of course, Barney was aware of it, but Barney hadn't arrived because we were late. And he got on the scales,
which they were entitled to do, 2 o'clock or whatever.
And they were going, they were making a big fuss. So it was ideal for them. Santiago Del Rio's round. There's a whole load of them. He gets on the scales. The scales go like this. Before the official actually says step off, they all go, hey! And they all jump off the scales.
And there's a drink.
And everybody else, of course, and there's 3,000 people in the cinema.
All cheering
they're all cheering. I'm thinking, well, everybody's clapping on the stage, so we need to clap. So they're all clapping. And then he gets off the scales, and the official goes, no. And he takes this polyurethane cup and pretends to drink the whole lot of it.
Because if he gets on the scales now, he's heavy because of the drink.
Exactly. He gets back on the scales and he's heavy. And they say, well, you're over. And he said, but I just had that drink. So there was a big standoff, and we went bonkers.
And Barney went bonkers. He blamed every single person. Everyone.
He was like furious, and all the boys, of course the audience, they loved it. They go on Barney, give it to him. So it went on and on. It was great fun. It was very exciting. But then of course it was exciting. And I remember my great friend, and I was starving. You know what it's like when you're before the weigh-in and you're dry and you think, I'm going to eat like that table full of food. Go and get me a McDonald's. So he got me a McDonald's, and I ate half the McDonald's and drunk so much liquid that it nearly made me sick. So I said, no, take it away. So that's just the way it is, and so we've come on in leaps and bounds since then from a dietary point of view.
That's the truth.
Such a big issue. Thank God is right. But great times, amazing times, and people didn't come home for a week, and the night, and I'm going to tell you a story, you'll enjoy this story. The night that I won the world title, my mother's house burned down.
Yeah. And you lost all of your medals and all of your
videos and everything, and what happened was, it was an oversurge of electricity that night. Everybody was up to the middle of the night, so by the time my mother, who was the only one left in the family, my sister Rachel, and then my auntie Bridget come over to keep her company, by the time we cleared the house out at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning and got off to bed, by the time they were in bed about half an hour, and then Bridget, who was on the first floor, smelled smoke. And she went downstairs and saw the flames and the fumes and ran back up and screaming at my mother, "Come out, quickly, quickly, the house is on fire," right? The smoke is belching out of it, but there's nobody around because they've all been so intoxicated they've gone to bed, right? So my mother runs to the window with my sister Rachel and Bridge, and they're screaming out through the window. This is the God's honest truth, and going, "Help, help, we're on fire." And this guy called Brendan McKenna, who used to live beside me a mile outside the town, poor Brendan, God rest him, he's long gone. He's walking across completely and utter, drunk as a skunk, paralytic. And he's walking across the diamond and they're going, "Help, we're on fire." And after saying it 3 times, he turns to me and says, "You're all right, love, we're all on fire. You'll be okay in the morning." I swear to God. Thankfully somebody sensible came along, got the fire brigade, broke the window and got them out. But that's just typical of clothes.
You had to go. You went back after because you were staying at the Holiday Inn in Marble Arch.
That's
but
right.
You sort of found yourself. You must have anticipated, but you found yourself even under seats for what you were expecting. You just couldn't move. I
couldn't move anyway. We decided the next day we would walk down to
get some fresh air.
We would walk down and have a look in maybe along Piccadilly Circus or whatever. I got half a mile down the road and I couldn't get any further. So after an hour and a half, my wife said, "Look, I've had enough. You go on and do it, and I'll just..."
But in all fairness, Barry, your family had an open door policy from the Commonwealth Games goal. Like your mother would, you'd come downstairs and your mother would invite people you'd never met, having tea in the house, waiting to meet you, who brought over their second aunt and their fifth cousin to see you. So in all fairness, it was crazy from about
But that was what it was like, because you didn't have any. I mean, the community was part of you, and you never said no to anybody. And my mother just had the kettle going 24 hours a day. I remember waking up one day and pulling open the curtains, and there was a tour of people outside looking at me in the underpants. And there's his bedroom and there's his sitting room. It was so funny. It was so funny. But not that morning, I can tell you. Well, it was great. It was great. It was so amazing to have such great times. And people still write to me today and say, you made such a huge impact on my life. And one of the greatest letters I ever got was from a guy who is the father of a son, British Army kid, who'd been killed in Northern Ireland through an IRA bomb. And he said to me, "I swore I'd never speak to another Irishman again, but you've changed my mind, Barry." And that was really something. And I kept that letter, and it was really very important to me. That impact, and people underestimate just how dreadful times were and how important. And people often say to me now, Bunchy, and you'll know this, why hasn't there never been a McGuigan era again? There never will be, I hope, because there was such sadness and there was nothing else to shout about, and it made it such an exciting time for people. It really was something else.
I'll tell you, on that point, we might end it. The book's called Barry McGuigan, Cyclone, My Story. It's Virgin Books, if I'm not mistaken. Barry, listen, it's been a pleasure having you in. And just quickly, Carl Frampton fights on Saturday.
Carl Frampton fights on Saturday, an eliminator for the British title. We want this to happen soon. He's in great shape. He's fighting Robbie Turley, awkward guy, and I hope he should take care of him, but we're not looking too far ahead.
I'll get Carl on the show next week. Barry McGuigan, it's been a pleasure having you in.
Thanks, Bonsie. Great.